Mr. Truth, once there lived a king who had a goat, a lamb, a ram, and a red cow with curved horns. The king was very proud of his herd. The goat, the lamb, the ram, and the cow with curved horns grazed in the royal garden, and the king fed them from his own hands every morning. Everything would have been fine if it weren't for the ladies of the court. They would raise a piercing scream at the sight of the cow, and they kissed and squeezed the lamb so much that he began to wither from such affection. The king did not know what to do. Then the chief minister advised sending the herd to a mountain pasture. That would be not bad, the king agreed. But where can I find such a shepherd whom I would trust more than my own ministers? You are always before my eyes, but a shepherd wanders the mountains day and night. They began to search for a faithful man. They sent messengers in all directions. They looked far, but found him nearby. Right by the city wall lived a peasant, the most honest man who had ever lived in the world. Never once in his life had this man told a lie. He spoke only the truth. He was nicknamed the Master of Truth, Mr. Truth. The king called for him and entrusted him with his beloved animals. Every Saturday, he told the shepherd, you must come to the palace and report how things are going. And so it went. Every Saturday, Mr. Truth came down from the mountains, entered the royal chambers, took off his felt hat, and bowed low. Greetings, your royal majesty. Greetings, Mr. Truth. How is my little goat? Fresh as a rose. Well, and my lamb? Frisky as a child. Tell me quickly about the ram. The ram blooms like a daisy. And my favorite cow? She is quite healthy. The king nodded graciously, and Mr. Truth returned again to the herd. Previously, the king had no one to compare his ministers with, but now he noticed from time to time that the ministers would tell a lie now and then. Therefore, the king was dissatisfied with his ministers, and they, of course, were dissatisfied with the royal shepherd. And so one day the chief minister said to the king, do you really think, your majesty, that Mr. Truth always tells the truth? There are no such people in the world. Oh no, exclaimed the king. I am ready to wager his head that he will never lie. And I am ready to wager my head, the chief minister shouted in a fit of temper, that on the very first Saturday he will deceive you. Fine, said the king. If he deceives me, I will order the shepherd's head to be cut off. But if he does not deceive me, the executioner will cut off your head. The minister bit his tongue, but it was already too late. He began to think how to make Mr. Truth tell a lie. But the more he thought, the less he could come up with. On Thursday morning, the minister's wife asked her husband, what has happened to you? Why are you so preoccupied? After some persistence, the chief minister told his wife about the bet with the king. Is that all? Said the wife. Don't worry, I will make sure your head is safe. She began to dress up in an atlas dress with lace, a pearl necklace, bracelets, and rings. Then she got into a carriage and drove to the mountains. She reached the mountain pasture and saw Mr. Truth with the royal herd. Oh, how good it is here, the minister's wife spoke in the tenderest voice. So good that I am ready to kiss everyone in the world out of joy. Then kiss me, your radiance, said the shepherd. For one of your kisses, I will give anything. Give me this little goat, she said. Hey, said Mr. Truth, that is exactly what I cannot do. Ask for something else. Well, then the lamb. Let's agree, your dazzlingness, said Mr. Truth. I will give everything except the goat, the lamb, the ram, and the red cow. The livestock is not mine, so there is nothing to talk about. The lady tried to persuade him, offering her rings, bracelets, and necklace, but the shepherd would not even look at them. The next morning, the minister's wife dressed in rags and ran to the mountain pasture. Woe is me, woe! She began to wail. She told Mr. Truth that her only son was dying and needed to drink fresh milk every morning and evening for a whole year. But I am so poor that I can only give him plenty of water. Mr. Truth's heart could not stand it. So be it, I will give you the king's favorite red cow. Thank you, shepherd, the woman exclaimed. Returning home, she told her husband, the deed is done. The minister took the cow to the palace. Meanwhile, Mr. Truth sat on a stone and thought about what he would say to the king tomorrow. He took his shepherd's staff, stuck it in the ground, put his cloak on it, and topped it with his felt hat. He bowed to the staff. Greetings, your majesty, he said to the staff. Greetings, Mr. Truth, he answered for the king. How is my little goat? fresh as a rose. And my lamb? Frisky as a child. Tell me quickly about the ram. The ram blooms like a daisy. And my favorite cow? The cow? The cow. I'll tell you, Your Royal Majesty. The cow fell. The cow, I say, fell from a high cliff. No, that's not it. He tried again, saying wolves ate her, but his tongue got tied. Finally, he decided to just go. On Saturday morning, he stopped before every tree, practicing the conversation. Suddenly, at the 20th tree, the shepherd came up with a remarkable answer. He entered the palace, bowed, and said, "Greetings, Your Royal Majesty." "Greetings, Mr. Thruth. How is my little goat?" "Fresh as a rose." "And my lamb?" "Frisky as a child." "Tell me quickly about the ram." "The ram blooms like a daisy." "And my favorite cow?" asked the king, and winked at the chief minister. Then the shepherd said, "Oh, Your Royal Majesty, you no longer have a cow. Execute me or mercy me, but I gave her to a woman. I listened to the poor thing, and judged that she needed the cow more than you. And that is the pure truth." The king clapped his hands, and so did all the courtiers. Only the chief minister did not clap, for he had lost his own head. "Because you were not afraid of the king's wrath," the king said, "you may ask for a royal reward." "Well," said Mr. Thruth, "I will ask. Leave the chief minister's head in its place, on his shoulders." "I will have to leave it since I promised you," answered the king. "But explain to me why you ask for him." "It's very simple," said the shepherd. "For many years I have been called Mr. Thruth. However, the truth is easy to tell if you don't need to lie. So I didn't know if this nickname was fair or not. And now, thanks to your chief minister, I know for sure that I am indeed Mr. Thruth.